would, on October 22nd, 2025, if you could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't think we need the mics just yet, but roll call. Larry Spear is present, Suzanne Bainan is present, Dennis Mago Solicitor is present, Michelle Dupree is present, Carl Benford present, John Seiler present, PJ Stevens from Bankson, I'm sorry, present. And Tammy Stetson from McMillan. Okay, we'll do your little
Public comment.
Is there anybody that wants to make public comment about the Data Center Ordinance?
Okay, at this point in time, we're starting the hearing itself. I don't think anyone here has any questions or concerns, but we have no one here to even ask a question. But I would say swear people in, but there's no one to swear in. So before us today, except for today, was the hearing on proposed ordinance for data centers. As most of us are well aware, these are becoming a big item, a hot topic in the area. I know we're dealing with this in other communities. I know I just saw submitted to me by South Surbane was an article whereby I think it's Consol or CNX that owns property on Zedeker Station is marking a large tract of land for a data center. And data centers, from my understanding, what I've read, is they're great consumers of electricity and water. So they are a concern in most neighborhoods. So if you all have before you, I hope, a copy of the proposed data center ordinance. It's already gone to the planning commission. They've looked at it and they've approved it. It's gone through the process. It's been duly advertised today. So if you look at page 1, we define a data center, a commercial use of one or more buildings designed and intended primarily to house computer and so forth. So that's the definition. It also includes accessory and supporting public utilities, substations, switch stations, infrastructure systems, mechanical equipment, components, environmental controls. So that's the definition of data centers, and that is section 2 of the ordinance itself, but that will be an amendment to Article 2, section 280-7. If you look at section 3, this is amendment to Article 22 of the Township Zoning Ordinance entitled Table of Authorized Uses. It says basically the Table of Authorized Uses, Appendix A, H1, Heavy Industrial District, are hereby amended to add data centers. The data centers are data centers, by the way. Data centers as conditional uses to the aforementioned district. And the reason why we're using a conditional use, because I don't like zoning hearing boards to make decisions, because sometimes they make the wrong decision and cause problems. So a conditional use is basically a permitted use which has, it's a hyped up permitted use in the situation, for lack of better words, with conditions. So, and then basically what conditional use, I always tell people when I go to these hearings, a conditional use is basically like a stairway. If you're at the bottom of the step and you touch each step, then you get to the top, conditional use must be granted to you, but you are able to set forth reasonable conditions to that conditional use. So that's the definition that I give to conditional uses. Section 4, there's hereby added a new section 280-117 with related subsections to Article, I guess that's 617 of the ordinance to add regulations for the use of data centers. So we're going to have regulations also placed in the ordinance itself. And the regulations are set forth further on at 280-117.1. Data centers are conditional use in a heavy industrial zoning district. Data centers shall not be, uses shall not be closer than 1,000 measured radially from data center building and or exterior equipment to residual property. And this is because I have a situation where I have one municipality, those solar farms, they don't have zoning, and basically there's no setback, so they put the solar farm right next, pretty close to the property line. And I don't think people want to see that. So what we're saying here, there has to be a building limitation. C, any proposal for data center use shall include a letter from the electrical provider that certifies the power grid has the capacity to meet the demands of the facility. And again, what I understand, this is a news thing coming on, they do use a lot of energy, electricity. I was watching CNBC News this morning when I got up around 6 o'clock this morning, and they were mentioning how much electricity is used in water. And they were showing how big these data centers are on CNBC. So they are a concern in terms of water and in terms of electricity. Paragraph C, any proposed for data center shall include a letter from the electrical provider that certifies that the power grid has the capacity to meet the demands. So that's what we need to find out. That's required. D, any proposal for data center use shall include a letter from the developer providing an analysis of the anticipated raw water needs. And I told you guys before this meeting began, in Cumberland Township, which is in Greene County, it's right on the river, Monon River. And they bought some land there, and they're putting in a data center, which is also next to a, they call it cogeneration plant, I believe they call it that.
Trying to get in there. Open the door for them.
I think they're waiting for the next meeting.
Yeah, but I can't lock them out of this one since it's...
Paragraph E, data centers shall be required to use an automatic fire suppression system that is in compliance with National Fire Protection Association 75 and 76 standards. The design and use of the aforementioned fire suppression system shall be to the reasonable satisfaction of the township and shall be in compliance with NFPA 75 and 76 standards. A gravel berm shall be installed extending at least 30 feet under and around any storage structure and shall be in a sufficient size to serve as a fire break. We had a planning commission meeting which I showed up at the one time. So after the planning commission meeting I did further research and I went about data centers and what to look for. So that language comes out of the basic concept of how you do fire suppression for data centers. Paragraph F, the data center developer shall provide the township fire companies with annual training on firefighting procedures, methods, and possible hazards specific to design and build system. Again, no one knows much about these, at least I'm not familiar with them, but we need to make certain that our first responders have the necessary training to ensure that if something does go wrong, that they can basically resolve the matter to the satisfaction of the community. Any special equipment that may be required to fight a fire at the data center shall be provided to the fire companies at the expense of the developer. And again, I know nothing about these items, but there's something necessary to fight the fire. The developer of that plant has got to, the center has got to provide that equipment to the township. Paragraph G, data center uses shall not have blank exterior walls on any side of the building. There should be adequate fenestration as well as horizontal and vertical breaks every 35 linear feet. H, building materials shall be durable, consisting of brick or other contact-sensitive masonry materials with a variation of color. Roof lines shall have variations throughout. So this is to provide some visual favorability to the area. You just don't want a big box. I, data center uses shall be limited to no more than 80,000 gross square feet for any one building and shall have at least 300 feet between other similar uses. J, any proposal for data center use shall include pre and post construction sound studies which examine all exterior utility functions of the building, rooftop and ground mounted, and produce sound. So basically we want to make sure that the community is not disturbed by any sound that comes out of that. So that's the purpose of paragraph J. K, any proposal for data center use shall include roof-mounted solar panels placed in maximum allowance as specified in zoning ordinance in order to offset the power. So we do have that already in there. And this is what I was telling you before, TJ. Over in South Strabane Township, I had one supervisor inquiring about if we can have that on these situations. So it's already there. L, any proposed data center shall include the latest technology in water conservation. As I told you guys before, the data centers, from what I understand, what I've read, consume a great deal of water and a great deal of electricity. The purpose of the water is to cool down the systems, I understand. I'm not a computer expert, I have no idea, but that's what I'm being told. That's what I've read. I've done a lot of reading on this situation. And the next part, section 5, is just similar boilerplate provisions talking about severability and construction and so forth. So that's your basic data center. It's something that's preemptive. I think you may be seeing something because I said they're looking for places on the river or places that have a lot of water. So basically this is trying to be preemptive in case something does happen. Does anybody on the board have any questions? Mr. Seiler? Mr. Hanford?
No, at the moment,
Mr. Prey? Ms. Bonham? Mr. Spear?
no.
So at this point in time, I'm going to ask for a motion to place into evidence Exhibit A, which is the draft ordinance that we just discussed, into evidence.
So moved.
Is there a second to that motion?
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 At this point in time, any further questions of the board concerning this ordinance itself? TJ, have you reviewed the ordinance also?
Yes, we did. Our office reviewed it. We made some comments which your office incorporated into the revised draft. We have no further comment.
So there's no further questions about this at all then? So at this point in time, the board, if you want, you can make a motion to close the testimony and we can adopt this at our regular meeting.
Make a motion to close the testimony.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Speak. Aye.
Aye.
I need that piece of paper.
This is yours.
Since he said it like that.
Okay. I don't have an agenda in mind either. This is yours.
Sorry to hear that.
Is this the agenda? You still have the agenda? Okay, so we're done with the hearing then? Yep. Okay.
Am I doing the next one?
No,
Okay.
you're done. Thank you for coming out.